Hey everyone, what's up? This week's book report is my boy Chris Singleton's book called Stories Behind Stances. This is an amazing book. It's a quick read. It's a short, I don't know, 100, 120 page book, but it really goes over, I want to say it was about 10 or 12 different scenarios where it dives into, you know, t- touchy subjects such as gun rights or um, just different political discussions and how we can have one perspective on a matter and then you really listen to the other side. If you really take a second and listen to the other person, they may have the exact opposite perspective, but the reasoning behind it could be just as powerful as the reason behind why you have your perspective. And it really opened up my eyes to say, okay, I'm not always going to be right. I only live 0.0000001% of, I'm sorry, I only experience 0.00001% of what this world really has to offer. Who's to say my perspective is necessarily right? It's just my perspective because of my surroundings and what I grew up with and what I've taken in. Someone else's perspective may be just as right as mine, or not necessarily right or wrong. It's just a different perspective and they lived a different life. So it really opened up my eyes to treat each situation a little differently now. And I try to, the best I can, if I start to form an opinion, personally pause for a moment and say, okay, well, what is this other person's perspective? I really need to try to see why they have their opinion before I weigh in and start to judge or have my own opinion. I just think that's really important. And that's what this book taught me, is to just take a minute, take everything in, and really see it from someone else's perspective. It's pretty powerful.